It's green. Oh, oh. The light is green. It's green. Can't you see? All right, today is the 18th day in the month of November, the year 2019. And today I'll be talking about diabetes. And I'm talking about diabetes in the spirit of World Diabetes Day that is celebrated in this month. Even though it's been celebrated last week, I will be talking about diabetes, and I will be looking at this alone. I have with me a specialist in the house who will shed more light concerning diabetes. Please stay tuned and enjoy it. All right, without taking so much of your time, my listener out there, I have a guest in the house in person of Latifa Busari Ajishafe. She's a public health nurse at the Adeoyo Hospital, Yemitu. Good afternoon, Latifa. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, like I earlier said, we will be talking about diabetes. Can you tell us what diabetes is?
Oh, thank you. Diabetes is a metabolic disorder that is characterized by increase in blood sugar level. That is, it is a metabolic disorder, and the major signs that we see is that there's going to be a rise in the blood sugar level more than the normal. The normal blood sugar should be something between 70 to 99 milligram per dl. But anything higher than that, maybe like from 100 milligram per dl to 125 milligram per dl, that can be say at the borderline. That can be say the patient is on the borderline or pre-diabetic stage. Anything more than 126 milligram per dl and above of blood sugar level is diabetic.
Oh, right. So you're trying to say anything above 126 milligram per dl, you can say that patient is diabetic.
Yes.
All right. Thank you there for that. Now, what are the types of diabetes that we have?
Okay, let me explain in a layman language.
Okay, you should.
Yes, diabetes in short is like we get our source of energy from the food we get to eat.
Okay.
So after eating our food, usually the carbohydrates, the food is being processed, that is, it undergoes some process, then it gets digested. Then we have the end product to be glucose.
Okay. Undergo some process like cooking.
No, when we
what
eat, after eating it.
Okay, after it's been consumed.
We swallow. Okay. So when inside the stomach, even from the mouth, the digestion of the carbohydrates will start from the mouth.
Okay.
So from the mouth into the stomach, it will also undergo some process inside the stomach, also inside the small intestine and the large intestine.
Okay.
So while undergoing this process, the end product that we're going to derive from this is glucose. So we now have a particular organ called pancreas.
Okay.
It is this pancreas that will produce an hormone called insulin.
Okay.
This insulin will now act on that glucose and supply us what we call energy. That is when we can now make use of that thing we have used. So we get our energy from the food we eat. The insulin produced by the pancreas work on the end product of the food we eat to supply us energy that is being used up by the body cells.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I do.
Yes. So when this insulin is not available, either the pancreas is not producing it,
okay,
or is not producing enough, or the body is not making use of it effectively, that is unable to process that glucose into energy form.
Okay.
Then there will be high level of blood glucose flowing freely inside the body cells, inside the blood. So that is when we have high level of blood sugar.
Okay.
So when we now have this, we can say, okay, the patient is diabetic. You understand? So we now have like 3 types of diabetics. We have type 1, we have type 2, and we have gestational diabetes mellitus. The type 1 is majorly insulin dependent. That is, the pancreas is not producing insulin at all.
Okay.
Or probably there's an autoimmune reaction going on inside the person's body, whereby the person is producing a kind of antibody that is working against the insulin being produced, working against the pancreas, and thus does not allow it to produce enough insulin. It's not making it to produce insulin as it's supposed to produce. So the insulin is not available for the body to be used. So in that type, it is usually common among, it is also called juvenile diabetes mellitus, insulin dependent type 1 or juvenile diabetes mellitus. So it has 3 names. That's the first type. It's usually common. Why we call it juvenile is because it's common among the younger ones and the young adults. Among the children and young adults, you can find type 1.
From what age?
Yes, childhood.
Childhood.
You can get it among, especially now that we have so many obese babies now.
Yeah.
So you can find it among them too.
Wow.
So it's very common now. So that's type 1. Then we have type 2. This one is non-insulin dependent. That is either the pancreas is producing not enough, is not producing enough insulin, or the body is not making, the insulin is being produced, but the body is not utilizing it well. It's not able to perform the work effectively. You understand? And we have the glucose just flowing freely inside the blood. It's not being converted into energy. That is the type 2 or non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Also, we have gestational diabetes mellitus.
All right, Latifa, before you talk about the gestational diabetes mellitus, I still want us to go up there. And you all listening out there, let me remind you that you can be a part of this program you can see us live by clicking onto our Facebook page, FM 106.7 FM. Just go to that page and like it. We will be right back after this time out.
Lord of the harvest moon, I'm looking back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green. Oh, oh. The land is green, it's green. What you see, the harvest is right. It's told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me. Standing alone can be heavy, no. And the walls I won't be breaking.
You're welcome back from that break, and this is still Healthy Living on Pensioners 106.7 FM, the voice of liberation. And I still have with me my health nurse. I have with me a nurse in the house, and she's doing justice, of course, to the topic we're discussing today. All right, Latifa, I want you to go to the type 3.
Okay. I said we have type 1, that is insulin dependent, and it's also called juvenile diabetes mellitus.
Yes.
We have type 2, that is non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. While I said the third one, the type 2 is the most common one. Okay. We find it among the adults, the older aged ones. While the gestational diabetes mellitus, this usually occurs during pregnancy and often goes away after the baby is being born.
Wow.
So some pregnant women, they have
diabetes just as a result of pregnancy.
Yes.
Wow.
Just like we have so many other things that comes with pregnancy. So we also have some people that after getting pregnant, they develop diabetes. So that one is called gestation diabetes.
Okay.
It is not that common, but patients with history of gestation diabetes mellitus often have the tendency of developing the type 2 diabetes mellitus in the future.
Wow.
So that's the complication of that one. So those are the 3 types of diabetes mellitus we have.
All right, thank you very much there for doing justice to these questions. Now let's move to the causes of diabetes. What exactly are those things that causes diabetes?
Yes, what actually causes diabetes mellitus, what I've explained earlier,
Okay.
is that the insulin is not produced, or the insulin is not enough, or even the insulin is produced, but the body is unable to utilize it effectively. Yes, that is, the insulin is not performing the job it's supposed to perform. So those are the really major things. But we have some risk factors. What I mean by risk factors, things that can make you to be prone to have these diabetes mellitus we're talking about. And people, and this includes people older than 45 years of age. Okay. They have the risk of developing diabetes mellitus. So you just have to watch it out, watch what to eat and every other thing. Then people that have the familiar, there's a familiar tendency. Okay. At times it runs in the family. Although it's not a must that if you have it in your mom or your dad, that is automatically the kids must have it. Okay. You know, but there is familiar tendency. It's likely you have it. That's a rule.
On what average?
Let me say 40, 60. Let me say yes.
Okay.
So if you are able to watch your weight, do some other necessary things, and be able to prevent it, fine. But if otherwise, if you are just living your life carefree, there's more likelihood that you may have diabetes mellitus.
Okay.
So also we have people that are obese, that is that when they have overweight, so they are prone to have diabetes mellitus. People that have hypertension, or people that have high cholesterol level, people that have previous diabetes mellitus in pregnancy, that is gestational diabetes mellitus, people that live sedentary lifestyles. All they do is just wake up, eat, and just sleep, and they don't do much of activities.
Physical activities.
They do more of sedentary lifestyles. So they are prone to it. So people, then countries are mostly among the low and middle income people, because we just eat what we see, majorly just concentrating on carbohydrates and every other things. So all these ones can also contribute to developing of diabetes mellitus. So those are the risk factors.
All right, thank you very much there. Now, if an individual already has diabetes,
Okay.
how can that individual manage it?
Yeah, diabetes mellitus can be managed effectively
Okay.
if it is being detected on time.
Okay.
Yes, that takes us to the signs and symptoms. Yes, signs and symptoms I can say that it's okay, fine. I think I need to go for checkup. And even without seeing the signs and symptoms, we need to go for follow-up, go for checkups. Let's know what we have in our body.
What exactly is wrong
What's
with us?
wrong? Yes.
Am I really fine?
Yes, am I actually physical and mentally fit? So we need to do checkups from time to time. We do go for routine checkups. So one of those things that we can see when there's increased test, that is, you're always feeling thirsty all the time, and we're not in the dry season. It's not something that is common that everybody's okay, fine, this dry season. Yes, people are feeling dehydrated, and they're just like, but when there's increased hunger, increased thirst, then frequent and increased urination, just go to pee from time to time. So that's also a sign. Then there's blurry vision. When you notice your vision is getting blurred, it's maybe a sign of diabetes mellitus. Then there is weight loss, sores that doesn't heal on time. Your body, because it's a wadad, So it's also a sign that maybe the person has diabetics, because people that have diabetes, their body doesn't heal on time if the sugar is not well controlled.
Okay.
So for the men, there may be reduced sexual drive, there may be erectile dysfunction. For the women, they may be having recurrent yeast infection. That people call it toilet diseases. You understand? Recurrent yeast infection, recurrent urinary tract infections too. And they'll be having dry and itchy skin. So some of those are some of the signs and symptoms I can think of now. But the treatment depending on the type. Okay. I was talking about type 1, type 2,
yes,
type 3. Yes. 3. So for the type 1, I said it's insulin dependent. That means the person will be placed on insulin therapy. The person will be taking the injection, taking insulin from time to time. While the non-insulin dependent, that one may be maybe the person may be just be placed on some dietary regimen, taking drugs, doing physical activities. If it is as a result of overweight, they can tell the person to shed on weight. You understand? So exercise, changing of lifestyles. If the person is living a sedentary lifestyle, tell the person at least walk for like 30 minutes in the morning, do some small exercise. You understand? Take a walk.
Sorry, I want to cut in here.
All right.
Because the other time when you were talking, you talked about obesity as a risk factor for diabetes. And you talked about weight loss as a symptoms.
No, as a therapy, as a treatment. We left symptoms. I'm not talking about treatments now. I said treatment now depends on the cause. That is, if it is type 1, that one is insulin dependent. The person just have to be taking insulin, just like an injection. Then you can use exercise to control it.
Now, can this insulin intake, can it take off the diabetes totally?
The person will be they'll be monitoring the person. They will checking the blood glucose. Maybe the person is taking it daily. They will regulate the insulin based on the outcome of the blood glucose results.
Okay.
So, but it cannot, I'm not sure, depending on the cause. If the cause has been removed, fine. Maybe it's an autoimmune and the person is able to control it, fine. You understand? Okay. But it's something that you just have to go for follow-up and from time to time. You can't just say, okay, fine, I think my blood glucose has been reduced. I think I want to go off on drugs.
You have to be sure about that.
No, you don't just take your decision on your own. Your physicians have to take that decision for you.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. We are talking about treatment.
Yes.
So I said we can use drugs, insulin injection for the type 1. The type 2, we can use drugs, exercise, Dietary regimen, you can just take the person, the nutritionist will come in. Okay, these are the food you will be taking. You avoid this. You take this one, a minimum of this in a day, blah, blah, blah. So they have to come in and tell you food to take and food to avoid. So dietary treatment and regimen too can also be used as a treatment. Exercise, insulin injection, reduction in weight too. The person is on the high side. The person is obese, can tell the person to reduce the weight. Also, lifestyle changes. If the person has been living a sedentary lifestyle, there's somebody to find something to do to exercise, like taking a walk. All those small exercise can also be inculcated into the treatment. So those are the major things we can use. Then we also have some complications that arise from this disease. So what are those complications that can arise from diabetes mellitus? The person can have, if not well treated or not well managed, the person can develop heart diseases, heart attacks, stroke, kidney diseases.
So it means the disease can actually lead to another.
Yes, of course. It can lead to, in fact, it can lead to blindness.
Wow.
That's why the person will just get blind.
You're trying to tell me that if diabetes is not well managed, it can lead to blindness.
Yes.
It can lead to heart attack.
Yes. It can lead to dementia. It can lead to depression. Imagine somebody that is taking injection and an insulin injection for years.
Wow.
For years, especially the type 1. You know, I said it's very common among the children and younger adults. You understand? So now imagine somebody have been taking it for years, just entering the teenage period where he or she has so many things going on in his or her mind. You understand? So it can actually even lead to depression. So it can lead to dental diseases, nerve damages, kidney diseases. Then wound. One of the health education we try to give to our diabetic patient is that they should try as much as possible to avoid wounds, because they won't tend not to eat on time. Takes time to heal if the sugar is not yet well controlled.
Wow. So
try to avoid using blade to cut your nails, avoid wearing high heels, avoid wearing open shoes, and so these are things we try to tell them. So as well to everything that can prevent them from getting wound, try to tell them to avoid it, because they won't tend not to eat on time. Then it can lead to foot drop, can even lead to stroke.
Wow.
So I used to say diabetes and hypertension always go with each other. Yes, they go hand in hand. So try to avoid one so as also have the other.
All right, you still on to Healthy Living on Pensioners 106.7 FM, and I have with me a nurse in the house doing justice to diabetes, and we're treating this as a result of World Diabetes Day that was celebrated last week. Now, I want us to look at it from this angle.
Okay.
Just last week, when World Diabetes Day was celebrated, the theme for this year is family and diabetes. What exactly is it? What exactly is it we want to get out of this family and diabetes?
Yes.
I know that it's a way of educating and enlightening families in order to help in the prevention of this disease. Okay, now my question. How much of families have you been able to reach out to, and how well do you really think, in your own opinion now, do you think as a health practitioner, do you think the awareness is enough to families, reaching out to individuals living with diabetes and people who are not yet educated about it?
I would say yes, and I would say no.
Okay.
Yes, on the side of the females, because women generally, we tend to have access to some information than the her men.
Okay.
Why? Because it's either we are in the hospital for antenatal care, you are there for breastfeeding clinic, you are there for maybe for infant welfare, you are there for family planning, maybe for one of the children is sick or the other. You understand? So for one reason or the other, females are always visiting the hospital more than the male. Yeah. So from that they get information. When it comes to the hospital, from one health talk or the other, they can get information on diabetics. So meanwhile, also some NGOs are also coming up.
Okay.
With so many campaigns about diabetes, because then we think it's something that is very trivial, but we are now saying that fine, it's not that trivial, it's deadly on its own too. So there are so many campaigns coming on. We have so many NGOs that are picking this up. There is Diabetes Association, they have their meetings from time to time. They have it in UC. I think they are celebrating their yearly anniversary this month.
Okay.
Next week, Wednesday, or this week, Wednesday, I'm not so sure. So there are so many campaigns going on, but it's not yet enough. As a public health nurse, we have been able to reach out to people, either through religious bodies, through NGOs, or through other means. I'm able to give talk on diabetes. Then, but we still have a lot to do. The rural areas are not being carried out. And this is something that we said is even more common among the low and middle social income people in our community. So we should just try and let's just keep on talking about this disease condition, every other disease condition, so that people can get informed about this and know how to prevent themselves and their family. And also, a healthy parent is a healthy home, especially the mother. If the father or the mother is not well, is not fit, how would they take care of their younger ones? Or how would they take care of those people that are dependent on them?
All right, thank you very much here, Mrs. Latifat Ajishafe Busari. I sincerely appreciate you, but before I sign off, finally, I want you to give your own parting words to listener out there, people living with diabetes, people living with one disease or another, and even the healthy ones, because you can't say because you are healthy, you won't have some precautions to take. So what's your parting word?
Well, my parting word is whether we are fit, we are not fit, we have one disease or the other, we should not just take our health for granted. We should always do the needful. Just say, okay, fine, I'm fine. I want to go off my drugs. Even if you have been placed on a drug and you're just tired of that drug, or you're not seeing the effect of that drug, go back to your physician. Let them do the needful. Let us also go for our checkups, our routine checkups. There are so many checkups we need to do, especially the females. The pap smear is there. The breast check our breast self examination is there to prevent all those deadly diseases. So many other things we can come to the hospital. Check our BP from time to time. Check our blood glucose from time to time. Because these things, they will not tell us when they are coming in. And it is always better to attack them at the onset before they start bringing out all other disease conditions.
Yeah, thank you very much there. Like it is said that prevention is better than cure. Better, safer, cheaper than cure. Don't take your health for granted. I think that is a very important one. It's on this time, right about this time, that I have to say my own goodbyes on this program, Healthy Living, this afternoon on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Many thanks to you for joining us. And next week, Monday, is another day where we'll get to discuss another interesting topic that has to do with your health. And like I always tell you, stay healthy, live healthy in order for you to enjoy your life. Good afternoon and have a nice day.
The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see all the harvest is ready, 'cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine.
Pensioners Global Ventures, Oyo State Pensioners House at Barigo, Oniweke, Ibadan. Calling. Our event center, located at the ground floor of our Africa's Model Building in a serene, strategic and conducive commercial hub of Ibadan, is second to none. Spacious, comfortable and decent for your next engagement or party. At Pensioners Global Ventures Event Center, we have uninterrupted electricity supply with dedicated